My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to part 3 of the playthrough of the East Coast Conquest, and that's the first scenario here on Railway Empire number 2. Let's just take a minute to familiar ourselves with the task list. At the minute we're just waiting to grow Albany to a population of 60,000. We're making decent progress on that front, up to 53,000 as we can see here. And if we look at Albany, we are experiencing rapid growth. In terms of supply and demand, the only things we're not really fulfilling are the fruits and the sugar. And that's what we're going to make a start on first thing today. We're going to connect in some sugar and some fruit into Albany with a view to just getting that 10% up a little bit. So we have sugar right here at Walker Station, and we do have fruits over here on this little peninsula. So these are the two obvious ones that we're going to connect into. And we'll start with Walker Station because we already have a station right here at the sugar plantation, so it makes sense just to utilise our existing infrastructure where we possibly can. So this will be nice and simple. What we'll do is we'll see about getting a line that connects in to our existing network just to the north like this. Nice and simple, nothing too complicated here. And if we can just get that to connect in, there we go. Let's go ahead and put down our signals, make sure we're going the right direction. Okay, so let's just pause it here. So at the minute we're connecting into this line, and on this line we have the New York City to Boston line going that way, and then up here we have I don't know, it's not showing me for some reason, but I think it is the corn and the corn and the grain go that way. I don't think we have anything running down here then, perhaps. Well, either way, we'll just share this bit of track here. We'll share the bridge, but then we will branch away up here as we head into Albany. We'll come in on a separate platform. And what platform do we have available? Well, we have this one here that's shared. This is, I believe, the milk incoming at the moment. So we may as well just connect into this one right here. So what we'll do is we'll run some lines down like this, and can we get that to connect into those nodes there? No, we cannot. So what we'll have to do is just bring those in like so. Connect it all together. Get some signals on that little bit of a little stretch of track there. How are we for supply towers? We have one there. I think we might put another one over here. In fact, no, we'll put it down here, like so. So let's set up a new line then. So we're coming from Walker Station. When we're here, we want to leave with a full load, of course. Using the John Bull, we'll only use one train for this one. This will be a freight-only train. And we're running into Albany, and at Albany we want to make sure we're going into platform number 3. So we'll just specify that there, like so. Let's just rename this. So this is our sugar line into Albany. Confirm that. And there we go, that's the sugar soon to be underway. The next thing we want to do is get some fruit being brought in as well. So let's get a station down here. And let's just pop it, let's go as right to the edge as we can, up there. Make sure we put our maintenance depot at this station. And then with this line, what we will do is, we'll first of all just run it to about there, and then let's just have a little moment here and determine which line is the best to connect into. And I think we might come into this middle set of tracks right here, the ones from New York City to Boston, because they'll come down here and then they'll just go up this way, and then I think we'll have them going to platform number 3 along with the sugar, because we only have the one train on the sugar line. So if we come in like this, yep, that's a valid line, we'll accept that. And then double track it all the way back to the fruit farm. like that. Put our signals in play. There we go. Supply tower about there will work quite nicely. And then what we want to do is a new rail line. We're coming from Allen Rest. One train, it's the jumble again. This is freight only. Fully loaded at Allen Rest. And we want to make sure they're coming down this way. And then into Albany. And again, this is platform number 3 we want them using there. Like that. And they've gone the correct way back. And that looks good and valid to me. Quickly rename this. So this is our fruits into Albany. Accept and confirm. And again, just the one train. We might go for 2 because they are coming from a little bit further afield. But we'll see how we manage with 1. And if we can keep Albany supplied. They don't need too much fruit, I don't believe. 7 per week. Oh no, that's the current delivery by train, sorry. Demand per week is only half a unit, so I think 1 train will be able to meet that demand. We've just seen live right there. Wooden planks is now a demanded commodity in Albany. I do believe we're producing them in Boston. Yes, we are. So that should take care of itself already. The line between Albany and Boston, it's a mixed mode train, so they'll be bringing passengers, meat, mail and wooden planks. So we don't need to make any alterations there. That's all taken care of. What level is this industry at? Level 1. How much would it cost us to buy it? Oh, it's too much money, so that is out of the question. In the meantime, we do have a connection bonus here at Sawyer Farm, which produces grains. Now, we're already supplying grain into Albany, and I dare say buffalo is being supplied overland from Perry Farm. But what I'm tempted to do is connect in and have a line that runs down here and into New York City, just to get that connection bonus. And even if you only end up running 1 train on this line, it's going to be enough to get us that connection bonus and a little bit of background income ticking away nicely. So let's do exactly that. Let's get this constructed like so. And again, we're just going for the standard setup here. Make sure we put our signals down. Now, as it stands, they would come this way over the bridge and then down here into New York City. What do we have running down here? We have 2 trains on the New York City to Albany line. I think we can probably get away with sharing that line. We don't need the New York City to Albany line to be an express service or anything like that. So we don't have to worry about the freight trains getting in the way and slowing down our passenger service. So let's go Sawyer Rest into New York City. That looks perfectly acceptable to me. Just rename this, so this is grains to New York City. At Sawyer Rest we want to be fully loaded, of course. And again, we'll just stick to 1 locomotive for this, but we'll set it to freight only, confirm, and away we go. So that'll net us a nice 179,600 gold pieces. How are we doing in Albany? Up to 56,000, 95% demand fulfillment, just under 96%. So looking good and healthy right there. No further action is required, and we should see now the sugar demand has jumped up. Sorry, the sugar fulfillment has jumped up to 60%. The fruit is still down at 10%. I guess that's just because the train hasn't yet arrived. Let's see if we can find it. No, it's on its maiden journey. We're just crossing the bridge now. How's the track utilisation here? Still only around about 34%, so we don't have to worry about providing extra avenues just yet. I think they can live with that. Anything below 50% is pretty good. But here comes our train to bring in the first load of fruit. Now, I don't know if them 2 sharing a platform will mean this one will not depart whilst this one is at the station. So I think what we'll do, just to make sure they do depart, is put a little, not a passing loop as such, but almost a siding just down here, like this. So that way, if the train is at the station, this guy can come and wait down here. He has a valid block available to him. We might not need it, but it didn't cost the earth, so I don't think there was any harm in just dropping that into place. How's our sugar train doing? It's just been loaded up, and as we can see, if we go to the farm itself, maybe do we want to buy that and expand it? Probably not. I think we're okay as we are. Yeah, well, I think we're going to be a-okay there. A small breakdown on the New York City to Albany line. That should clear up pretty soon. You've not yet claimed the bonus, but I think the train must be underway. We're about to claim it as soon as this fella gets into New York City. That should register that connection bonus and give us a nice little boost. You're waiting on him. Although you're just leaving now, so I think we don't need to worry about removing a train from that service just yet, but we will keep an eye on that. We got the connection bonus, as we can see. That's now disappeared and get us a nice boost to our income. So what do we want to do next? Well, we still have Syracuse that is unconnected to our network, so I think connecting into Syracuse wouldn't be a bad idea. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's get a station over in Syracuse. Build the maintenance depot as well. And let's connect into Albany first of all. Now we have a spare platform right here, so let's take advantage of this. And we'll run this down. And yeah, this can all be shared. But here is where we'll look to diverge and go our own way. Bridge over the river. And then bring you in. Maybe that's not the best idea. Let's just get rid of that and that. And just have you come a little straighter up that way. Max speed, 4% gradient is the current maximum, 21 miles per hour on that corner there. But I think we can live with that. And then let's double track this. There we go. Signals, of course. There we go. Do we need a supply tower anywhere? We have... that's not... oops, wrong thing. Yeah, we have one there. Let's go ahead and just give them another one over there as well. And then let's set up a mixed service from Albany to Syracuse like that. With the jumble. And we'll run 2 trains. Now that we have our station in Syracuse, there's no harm in also connecting that to Buffalo. So let's do that, and we'll come from platform number 2. And we'll come down this way over the river. And then we'll just run parallel as we head into the city of Buffalo. Where's the track gone? There it is. That went a bit funny there. Let's just see if we can sort that out. There we go. Get rid of that one. Just stretch that out to get a bit more speed. There we go, maximum speed. And then let's just bring it all the way back to... No, we're not going to Albany, we're going to Syracuse. And in fact, let's do something a bit different. Let's connect it like that and then give them some station gridiron. There we go. Signals. There we go, get it right. And there. Railway buildings then. Supply tower, let's go about halfway. Wonderful. And then let's get a line from Buffalo to Syracuse. 2 trains. But let's go to Syracuse and make sure they are using platform, was it platform number 2? Yes, it is platform number 2 we want them to use, so we'll specify that right there. Everything else is good to go. Let's confirm that. So that gets us a little bit of passive income in the background as well on those new services. Albany has grown again, and that looks like, yep, it's completed our task. So it's not yet unlocked the next task, so we'll keep the game running while we wait for the task list to regenerate. Okay, so our task list has now been updated. Let's have a look. So connect 3 industries producing grain. We've already done 2 of those. Transport 960 passengers from Syracuse. Well, we've just connected into Syracuse, so we'll start making our way towards that. And construct a university in Albany. A city can only have 1 city building at a time, such as university, library, etc. If there is already a city building in Albany, you will have to demolish it in order to build a university. Okay, so we will have to get rid of the library. I think city buildings, you can only construct them at a certain population. Let's have a look. University can be constructed in cities over 90,000 citizens and is required for cities with more than 100,000 citizens. Okay, so we can't build the university until we get to 90,000, and my reading of that says that if we want our city to grow in excess of 100,000, we need the university. Okay, so we don't need to do anything about that just yet. We just keep supplying Albany as best we can to get that rapid growth. In the meantime, we need to connect to a 3rd grain industry. I don't think there's any available in the region that we currently have. We can't get access to this one, as we can see. It's redded out, not greyed out. But yeah, it's unavailable. In fact, all of these are unavailable. However, we can come into Southern Ontario, and we do have 2 grain industries in this region. So I think we may as well go ahead and unlock this. 536,000, so let's just pay for that because we're going to have to do it anyway. And let's go. What do we have? Well, we have Ottawa up here, which produces beer, which needs grain. So shipping the grain from Nolan Farm into Ottawa would probably be a decent idea. We could then connect to Toronto because we have that beer and meat connection right there. So they'd be mutually beneficial. And then we could have a line from Ottawa into either Syracuse or Albany, and Toronto into, I'd say, Syracuse. So let's go about that a little bit backwards, and let's come from Syracuse down here up into Toronto, get that line running, connect Toronto into Ottawa, and then we'll get a station at Nolan Farm and supply Ottawa with the grain, and that'll help that. And then if we want to, of course, we can also get some of this cattle into Toronto as well to keep the meat industry as well supplied as we possibly can. We have some tech points available. What do we have available to research? Nothing yet. We're locked behind this and this, 200 and 300 respectively, so we need to wait on for that, which is not a problem. So in the meantime, let's just get constructing, shall we? So we want a train station here in Toronto, and we'll pop that round about there. Make sure we put that depot in position. Wonderful. And then let's bring this line, and I think we want to come out of platform number 2 here because we will be bringing some cattle down, and platform number 1 is the logical choice for that. So this passenger line, or this mixed freight line into Syracuse, will come off of platform number 2. Now this might be a little expensive because we're coming quite a distance, although I don't think we need any bridges or tunnels, so that should help keep costs down somewhat. But the length of the line does mean it's going to be a little bit more costly than what we're used to, shall we say. And we can just bring that in on that corner there. 170,000, so not too bad. And then we'll double track it all the way back. And we'll do that again, and we'll go for the gridiron back here. Put our signals in place, a couple of supply towers. I think we'll go for one there, and perhaps one down here. We can't afford it at the moment. 28,500, there we go. Okay, that will work. So a new line then. So we're coming from Syracuse to Toronto. At Syracuse, much of a muchness, but we will say platform number 1, I think. There we go. Toronto, we want you on platform number 2, so we'll specify that. John Bull, 2 trains do we think on this service? Maybe even 4. It is coming a fair old distance. Yeah, let's go for 4. There we go. Okay, so should we start bringing in the cattle, because that should be fairly quick and cheap to do. It is a pretty short connection. Let's get a station just there, route station, and then you will have it come down this way and connect in to that connection point there. Double it up, of course. And let's do the same thing again with the gridiron. Let's just increase the game speed while we get the funds to pay for this. 101,000 is what we need. Okay, just slow it down again now. Pay for that new stretcher track. Signals and supply tower. We also want the gridiron over at route station. And now we can set up this line. So we're coming from route station into Toronto. Doesn't matter what platform they use at route station, but at Toronto we want to make sure they're on platform number 1. However, over here we do want them to have a full load, so we will specify that. This is our cattle to Toronto line. Wonderful. John Bull, 1 train I think should be enough, and a freight only service. Confirm that. We can always get a second train if we need to. The detonator, we can't afford it, so we don't need to worry about that. Next then, shall we get that service to Ottawa constructed? Let's get the station then first of all. There we go. Let's bring you in on platform 2. We have a reservation there to be mindful of. We don't want to plough straight through that. And let's bring you into there. 461,000, mainly because we're paying... Oh, we have a tunnel. Well, let's just get rid of that tunnel. That'll cut down costs nicely. 286, most of which is being spent on the station platform. So we'll just let that build up in the background, and we'll come back to that as and when we have the money. In the meantime, let's have a look at Albany. Still seeing rapid expansion, over 100% fulfillment of demand, which is fantastic. The only new commodities are the produced commodities, liquor and dairy products. I don't think we're producing them anywhere at the moment, so there's not much we can do about that. So yes, we can't do anything else with Albany. We can, however, get the deep pockets research now, and that unlocks this top row right here, so that's good to see. Plenty of money now to pay for the track expansion, so we'll go ahead and we will do exactly that. And then let's just parallel track this between Toronto and Ottawa, like so. 184,000. So again, it's just a case of waiting for a few moments while we accumulate the funds in the background to fund this expansion. How are we doing on our tasks? Almost completed this one already, which is great to see. Again, we can't do anything about this one just yet, and we're making our progress towards this one. Once we get this new service up and running, we can turn our attention to connecting into the final grain farm that's required. Right, there we go. Do we have a maintenance shed here? No, we don't. Let's make sure we do give them one. There we go. Then we want to get some supply towers somewhere along this route, and I think we'll go for 2 of them. We'll put one at the Ottawa side and then one over by Toronto, like that. And then let's get a new service from Toronto into Ottawa. John Bull, and I think just 2 trains will be more than enough for this one. I don't think we need to specify a platform because there's only one available. That is platform number 3, so that's all okay. Let's go ahead and confirm that. So that's another new line up and running. And the next thing we'll do is connect into Nolan Farm and bring it into Ottawa and get them supplied with the grain that they need for that beer industry. So new station just there. Let's bring our track in. If we can get it in nicely before that supply tower, that would be great. It'll save us a bit of money on having to build another one. Anyway, well, that will do. Into that available platform just there. Okay, so that's that task completed now, which is great. We have a supply tower on this route already, thanks to the manipulation of the tracks right there. What we do want to do is make sure we put the maintenance depot at Nolan Terminal, so we'll do that. And then let's get a new line from Nolan Terminal into Ottawa. This wants to be fully loaded. One train. Sorry, just the one train. And freight only 18,000, and away we go. Let's just slow the game down here. So yes, that's not now ticked off. Very close to meeting this target as well. So what we'll do now is just head back over to Albany. We're still seeing rapid growth. 99.7% demand fulfillment, so that's dropped off just a little, but it's still more than good enough, and I don't think anyone's gonna worry about that little drop off right there. We're still just below 100%. Salt is a new commodity that they now require, and I do believe we have salt somewhere nearby. Ah yes, over here. Is there any other salt that we could potentially use? I can't see any. Right up there, which is probably a little bit too far away. So salt from here then. Well, let's see. They could, yeah, they could go through here. Cotton farm near Parkersburg. Where is that? That's all the way down there. I'm not going to bid on that. So back to the salt. We could just bring it in down here, because the track utilization down here isn't too high, although we do have 4 services from Syracuse to Toronto. But I think we can get away with it, because we're only going to be running, I should say, 1 train here. So let's just go ahead and do it. So connect that in just there. Get our signals on the line. Let's put a supply tower down here out of the way as well, right about there. And then a new rail line from Stewart Terminal, fully loaded at all times. Freight only, John Bull, all the way through to Albany. And then let's just rename this to Salt to Albany. Confirm that. So that'll just keep this as high as possible by getting salt brought in as much as we can. Everything else is looking good. Again, we can't really supply these two at the moment. We need to build an industry to produce them, and there's nowhere where we can do that at this point in time, so just gonna have to sit on that one. Luckily it's not dragging down our demand fulfillment too much. So as we saw, that's that task also now completed. So the last thing we need to do for this section of the campaign is just to get a university in Albany. So we're still waiting around until we get to 90,000. We have a connection bonus here. We may as well take advantage of that. It's fairly nearby, and it's something we can make money off of as well, because the wool is in demand in Bangor thanks to that textile manufactory that they have. So let's just do a nice straightforward connection here, and that looks good to me. Let's just go ahead and double track it, although I think we can get away with just the 1 train running down here, to be honest. Railway building supply tower at the midpoint. And let's get a new line then from coal terminal, always fully loaded when you leave, into Bangor with the John Bull, freight only, and this is wool to Bangor. There we go. So that'll net us a cool 244,000, which should be very nice indeed. Bangor has grown a little bit. Boston's still experiencing rapid growth, which is fantastic, as is Albany, which is very important. The fulfillment of demand is dropping off a little, but we're still in the high 90s, so not too concerned at this point. And it is, I guess, the liquor and the dairy products that's dragging us down right there. This should start to jump up now that the salt train has made a delivery, or at least I believe it's made its first delivery. Let's just check that. Oh no, but you are on the way, just being held up by a breakdown down here. Okay, well there's not much we can do about that. We have maintenance buildings everywhere, so that's just the way it goes. So right now then, there is very little else that we can do really. We could maybe bring some grain into Toronto. What's their demand fulfillment on the grain? No, it's currently at 100%. It's really corn and lumber holding them back. Do we have any corn or lumber nearby? We have lumber up here. I suppose we could run some lumber in just to keep them ticking away nicely in the background. I don't think it's crucial to our overall efforts, however. 70, just under 75,000. Could we upgrade this just to make a bit more money off it? We're at full utilisation over the past 10 weeks, so I think we can safely say that this is due an upgrade, so we'll do exactly that. And we could also consider perhaps purchasing the wool farm, although it is a level 4 industry, so it's going to cost a fortune to do that, so maybe we'll just hold off on that for now. Okay, we're getting small breakdowns around the place periodically now, so do we want to think about maybe putting down a maintenance post? I mean, we're not going to get full coverage, but on these little busy stretches, say down here, it might be an idea. Is it really worth the investment? Well, we haven't had one yet, and it would be interesting to see how they work, so I think we will do that. Let's just pop one right there, and I guess that now means our trains don't deteriorate as fast, or perhaps even at all, when they're in this rather large area of effect. But yeah, we'll have a maintenance post just for the sake of it, I think. So you've been loaded for over 4 weeks. That's running at 100%. How are you doing? You're pretty good, so we don't need to upgrade you at the moment. You're pretty much where you need to be. You, could we buy you? Let's see. There we go. I mean, it is a worthwhile investment. Lumber is needed in both Portland and Boston, especially in Boston where they have the sawmill industry as well. So there is scope to make a decent amount of profit on this one. And maybe boost it up to level... yeah, maybe not level 3. Let's go to at least level 2. Because we are at 100% utilisation at the moment here. Detonator, shall we research that? Increases reliability by 5%. Yeah, I think that's a worthwhile thing to do. Yeah, so I think level 2 is a decent enough level for that industry. We can see we've got 22 units in storage out of 55, and the production per week is at 8.4, which should be enough to keep both of these services nicely supplied. Okay, let's just hop back over to Albany. 77,000 now. That fulfillment continues to drop, and it is these manufactured goods down here, the salt notwithstanding, that appear to be causing the major issue. Another small breakdown on this stretch of track. Oh, well, it is what it is, I think. So I guess our salt train has now made a delivery. No, not yet. I guess we had to wait to pass through the Syracuse station, but he is getting close, and that salt being brought in is going to help boost this up just a little. As long as we stay above 80% with the rapid growth, then I'm satisfied. At 90,000 we can get the third industry slot, and I think maybe getting the dairy product industry would be a decent shout. We do have milk up here that we're currently supplying already, and the cheese would be utilised in Albany. In anticipation of that, I might go ahead and buy that. There we go. Because we know that if we are going to build that dairy industry in Albany, this is going to become quite vital, so making money off of that is a nice idea. So at this point then, there's very little we can do to impact and influence what is happening. We've got decent supply to the cities that matter, Boston, Albany and the likes. Could we purchase the sawmill perhaps? Maybe. How much would it cost? 900,000 to start the auction. We could give them a library over here in Boston to help with the growth. Oh, can I rotate that at all? Ah, yes, shift. There we go. Let's put the library right there, and that'll just help Boston to grow as much as possible. Of course, the more that Boston grows, they already require the dairy product, so getting a dairy product industry in Albany is looking a better idea the longer I think about it, so that's definitely what we're going to do as soon as we're able to. Demand fulfillment's jumped up a bit. I guess the salt has now arrived. Yes, it has. So liquor, cheese and furniture, not much we can do about those, not until we get that third industry slot anyway. Another small breakdown there. I'm tempted to maybe do another maintenance post then on this bit here, because this is quite a busy stretch of track where we have several lines sharing just a handful of tracks, so keeping things flowing as freely through there is probably a good idea. Okay, so what do we have? Train being loaded for more than 4 weeks. You're all just 100% utilisation. Maybe upgrading you again then to level 3. So we'll do that. You've been loaded. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And I guess that's fine as well. Yeah, there's not much we can do about all of those. Just obviously, that's get your words out. That's just an artifact that was waiting for them, or asking them to wait for a full load before they leave. If the demand isn't there in the city that they're supplying, then they're going to be waiting for a while. But I can live with that. 83,000, 84, looking good. Salt up to 100%. All the other commodities remaining at 100% as well, which is fantastic. Like I said, as soon as we get this dairy product industry at 90,000, that's really going to help as well, especially because that dairy industry is also going to keep Boston nice and happy at the same time. So I think what we'll do then, we're getting up for 40 minutes now. I think we'll leave it here. I was going to wait till Albany got to 90,000, but yeah, we'll just leave it here. So I'll do what I did last time out. I'll save the game at this point, and then we'll take a cab ride. And I think today we might go Toronto to Syracuse for our cab ride. So yeah, just give me a second. I'll save our progress so we can pick it back up exactly at this point, and we're not going to miss anything in the background during the cab ride. And we'll pick up in episode 4, just waiting for Albany to get over that finish line of 90,000 so we can get that industry, and then obviously waiting for the 100,000 so we can get the university. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I've saved our progress. We have a train just departing the city of Syracuse, so that's quite good timing. So let's hop on board. Get the camera positioned nicely here. There we go. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm certainly enjoying Railway Empire 2. Transport Fever 2 will continue, of course, but just cashing in, shall we say, on the novelty of Railway Empire 2. It's a new game, so that's always exciting. But yes, the Transport Fever 2 series will continue. Don't worry about that. As always at this point, a very special thank you to those of you over on Pateron. Your support is absolutely fantastic, so thank you very much indeed for those of you who have pledged your support over there. As always, comments, feedback and suggestions welcome. But for now, all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.